Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Pereira. Welcome to the Flow Summit. Thank you for being here. It means a lot that you landed on this talk. Before I tell you a bit more about me, let's talk about the word fertility, but not in the way you might expect. Now, I know some of you might be wondering, why is this talk about fertility? That word can carry weight. For some, it's deeply personal. For others, it can feel distant and even painful, especially if you're a different phase of life. So let me reframe it. The kind of fertility I want to speak to you today is not only about pregnancy. It's about creation. It's about life force. It's about the energy that allows you to bring something meaningful into the world, whether that's a child, a vision, a business, a piece of art, or simply a fuller version of yourself. Fertility to me is about life. It's about the ability to feel, to receive, to rest without guilt, to flow instead of always pushing. That's the kind of fertility we're exploring here today. The kind that reconnects you to yourself, not in performance, but in presence. And I want to speak to something deeper. The part of you that's tired of holding it all together, the part that always shows up for everyone, even when you're running on empty. The part that quietly wonders, why does it still feel this hard? Is there something wrong with me? Or have I just been carrying too much for too long? You might look like you have it all under control. You might be the one everyone turns to for support, but inside it feels tight, like you're stuck in your head. Maybe even blaming yourself for not being able to just feel better or get over it. Let's name what's true. You've been in survival mode for a long time, and your body has been doing what it knows to keep you safe, protecting you the only way it knows how. This is not a talk about doing more. This is a conversation about reconnecting, about listening to your body, your truth, your essence. And now, a little bit about me and why I'm here with you today. So, my name is Anne-Marie Pereira. I'm a rapid transformational therapist, clinical and systemic hypnotherapist. What I'm going to share with you today comes from both professional and deeply personal experience. This isn't going to be just theory. I was born in France, and for most of my life, I did what was expected of me. I studied hard, got a serious job, proved myself, and apparently kept everything under control. And so I spent over 15 years in the corporate world, leading teams, building a career. On paper, it looked like success, but inside, I was burnt out, tired, disconnected, and silently suffering. I remember one night around 11 p.m., my partner came to pick me up after another very long day. As we drove past the office building, he pointed up at the glowing sign at the top and said, "That name shining up there, not yours." And he was right. I had given everything, my time, my energy, my presence, to a version of life that didn't feel like me anymore. Then I became a mother, and I kept pushing, breastfeeding with one arm, replying to emails with the other, still performing, still proving, until life brought me to my knees. In 2017, my second son was born, and we lost him within 1 week of life. That loss, it broke something open in me. The grief stripped away every mask I was still wearing. I couldn't keep going like before. I couldn't pretend nothing had happened. And that's when I found hypnotherapy. At first, just for myself, to breathe again, to feel again, to come back to myself, one moment at a time. And through that process, I remembered something I had forgotten for a very long time. My body was never the enemy. It was my friend. It was the messenger, the one that had carried me through birth, death, and everything in between. 1 year later, following the birth of my daughter, that's when I knew I had to go deeper. I trained, I studied, I practiced. And eventually, I left my corporate career to help other women reconnect with themselves, not by forcing anything, by softening the armor they've also carried for too long, by finding clarity and reconnecting with what truly matters. I'm here not to tell you to do more or add to your to-do list. This journey isn't about adding effort. It's about removing what's not yours and choosing what truly matters to you. In this session, I want to show you why everything feels so heavy right now and why it's not your fault. Then, what your body is really trying to tell you when you're exhausted, tense, and stuck in the same loop. And finally, what becomes possible when you stop trying to fix yourself and start listening instead. Let's begin. We often hear like, stress is bad and you need to relax. And that's not the full picture. Not all stress is harmful. Some stress is actually helpful. It gives us energy to get things done. It helps us focus before a big meeting, stay alert in a new situation, or push through something important. This kind of short-term stress is part of being human. It moves us forward and helps us rise to the moment. The problem begins when stress becomes your default functioning mode. When your nervous systems never gets a break. When you're always on, even when you're lying down, your mind keeps spinning. Even on the weekend, it's hard to enjoy the moment because your mind is everywhere except here. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Chronic stress doesn't always look chaotic. Sometimes it looks like holding it all together on the outside while falling apart inside. You keep showing up at work, you get things done, you're always there for others, you push through the fatigue, the headaches, the mood swings, because that's what you've learned to do and always done. That's your default mode. Sounds familiar? But underneath the surface, you wake up tired, even after a full night's sleep. Your mind races with thoughts you can't turn off. Your cycle becomes unpredictable, short, long, missing entirely. Your body feels heavy and alert at the same time. You feel numb, or like everything is too much all at once. And because so many women feel this way, we've started to call it normal. Many of the women I work with are high functioning. They lead teams, support their families, manage IVF schedules, run businesses, and keep their homes going without letting anything drop. From the outside, they're holding it all, but inside, they are burnt out. Do you know that feeling when you're doing everything right, but still feel like something's missing? This is not really living. This is just surviving. It's not about doing more. It's the constant pressure to hold it all together all the time. They've spent so long doing what's expected, they have lost touch with who they are when no one's watching. When your nervous system is stuck in go mode, it makes sense if rest feels uncomfortable. You were never taught how to feel safe there. I'll always remember my client M because her story mirrored mine years ago. It's a story I know many of you will recognize too. Every time she planned a holiday, she'd spend the week before rushing to get everything done. Emails, calls, house prep, packing, organizing. All she wanted was to rest, to feel free for a few days, to have a few quiet days just for herself. And systematically on the first day of every trip, without fail, she'd get a migraine. A strong one. It would last for 2, sometimes 3 days, like half of the holiday. It was like her body couldn't believe it was finally allowed to rest. Like rest wasn't safe at all. When we worked together, what we uncovered was this hidden belief. I shouldn't be resting. I should be producing. I'd rather be sick in bed than be seen resting. Her nervous system had been trained since early on that slowing down meant she'd fall behind and be judged. And that's what I see in so many women. We've been taught that our worth comes from doing, from being productive, performing well, holding it all together, no matter what. But no one showed us how to be with ourselves and simply be without the pressure. We carry so much. We push through so much, and we rarely stop to ask, what is this doing to my body? Can you relate to that feeling? You finally take a break and your body crashes. You try to slow down and guilt floods in. You lie down to rest and anxiety creeps in. That's not because your body is broken. It's because it's trying to keep you safe the only way it knows how. Have you ever wondered if your body is actually wiser than you think? Many of us have lived in one mode, pushing, planning, controlling, performing, proving. This is the masculine energy we've been taught to value, the do more, be more mentality. But without balance, without the space to pause, to feel, to receive, we start to shut down. The body becomes rigid. The womb contracts. The breath tightens. The energy stagnates. And creativity dries up. Like dry land waiting for rain, we lose the conditions where anything new can grow, and we stop feeling like ourselves. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, why don't I feel like myself anymore? Or even, where did the real me go? Here's something most people don't know. Fertility doesn't start in your ovaries. It starts in your brain. Your brain communicates with your reproductive system through a part called the hypothalamus. When you're under constant stress, that signal gets disrupted. Your body reads stress as danger and shuts down anything that's not essential for survival, including reproduction. But this isn't just about conception and bringing a baby into the world. When that communication is blocked, it affects your energy, your emotions, your sense of clarity and direction. It affects your ability to create. Not just life, but art, projects, connection, impact, and a sense of joy that comes from being fully in your body. So many of us were raised on the silent rule: be useful, keep going, keep the family together, don't ask for too much, stay strong, don't cry, don't rest until everything's done. We were never taught how to be with ourselves. We only learned how to keep performing. And we rarely pause to ask, what is this doing to my body? Let's ask that now, because in the next part I'll show you how your body speaks through symptoms, why those messages aren't mistakes, they are wisdom, and how listening can start to change everything. Now let's explore what your body has been trying to tell you all along. What if your symptoms aren't something to fix, but something to understand? Your body speaks in sensations, not words. Fatigue, tension, irregular cycles, bloating, mood swings, cysts, migraines, insomnia, and more. They aren't random. They're not signs your body is failing. They are signs your body is actually protecting you. Every physical or emotional signal in your body is saying something like, I don't feel safe right now. I need space. Please slow down. I'm carrying too much. Something doesn't feel right, and I need you to notice. This is too much for me. I need you to choose me for once. Most of us learned it early. Be the strong one, stay in control, don't cry, be a good girl, don't ask for too much. And you became the helper, the achiever, the one who holds it all together. You learned to hide your feelings, to smile through pain, to make others comfortable even when you're struggling. And that armor worked for a while. As a child, teenager, a young adult, it kept you safe. It helped you survive. But now, it might be keeping you from the very thing you long for. Connection, freedom, presence, fertility, vitality, and joy. After years like this, the armor fits so well, it starts to feel like you. It's like a bodysuit you didn't choose, molded to you so precisely, it starts to feel like you. And you forget who you were before the pressure. Taking it off feels dangerous, as if you were going to tear your own skin off. Because being seen, being open, being vulnerable hasn't always felt safe. But here's what I want you to hear. The armor, it's not you. It's something you learned, which means it's also something you can unlearn. Moments of hormonal transition, like adolescence, pregnancy, postpartum, menopause, these are often the moment where everything rises to the surface. Why? Because hormonal transitions are like emotional amplifiers, bringing to light what's been held in the dark. That's why menopause can reopen the pages of an emotional story that began long ago, not to repeat it, but to rewrite it. It's the same emotional imprint, just returning to a different phase of life. Many of the beliefs that shaped you aren't even yours. They're inherited, passed quietly through generations, your mother, grandmother, and the women before them. They taught us how to be strong, independent, how to survive, how to keep going, no matter how much it hurt. But they also carried a lot of fear, loneliness, and suppressed dreams. We carry their resilience, yes, but also their silence. We don't have to choose between honoring them and choosing ourselves. Because when we stay stuck in the past, we block what's trying to meet us now. Our children, the ones here and the ones we're calling in, our relationships, our joy, our life force. Whether it's a baby, a dream, or a new way of living, what wants to be born inside you needs the right conditions to grow and flourish. Just like a seed needs warmth, water, and fertile soil, your body, mind, and heart need nourishment and space. Nothing thrives in dryness. And when your inner landscape is dry, emotionally, hormonally, energetically, there is no room for new life to root, rise, and blossom. These are some of the beliefs I hear in my work every day. I have to do everything myself. My body doesn't work. If I stop, I'll fall apart. No one understands me. These don't live in your logical mind. These live deep in your subconscious, and your body listens to how you feel, not just to what you say. You can say, I trust my body, but if there is fear underneath, your body will follow the fear every single time. Now, I want to be clear. What I'm about to share isn't a diagnosis. Every woman is different, but over the years, I've worked with many women navigating burnout, overwhelm, and fertility challenges. And time again, I've seen that the body speaks in patterns. These symptoms aren't random. They often show up as a messenger revealing what words couldn't express. So here are some of the most common symptoms I see and the emotional message we could translate from each one. Polycystic ovaries, PCOS. I'm constantly pushing, yet I never feel enough. Endometriosis. I carry pain I couldn't express, and now my body speaks for me. Fibroids or polyps. I'm holding onto old grief and stories that were never fully released. Irregular or missing periods. It doesn't feel safe to open, receive, or let life flow through me. Thyroid imbalances. I've silenced myself for so long that I have forgotten how to speak my truth. Chronic migraines or fatigue. My mind never stops and I'm overwhelmed by the pressure. I desperately want to escape or shut down because it feels too much. My intention here is to remind you that your body is always communicating through symptoms, sensations, and signals. Beneath each one, there's a meaning. And when you begin to truly listen, something begins to shift. So, are you ready now to listen to your body differently? In the next part, I'll show you what becomes possible when you stop pushing and start listening. So let's imagine this for a moment. You buy a new body lotion. The label promises a lot, but it's packed with chemicals. You don't need to read every word for your body to respond. Your skin doesn't ask whether it's healthy or harmful. The moment you apply it, it simply absorbs. And that's exactly how the subconscious works. It doesn't ask, is this belief true? Is this thought good for me? It absorbs whatever you tell it repeatedly. Think of your subconscious like your internal autopilot. It quietly runs most of your thoughts, reactions, and habits. About 90 to 95% of them, without you even realizing. It's why you can drive somewhere familiar and arrive without remembering the turns, or why you might eat something, react to a comment, or feel anxious without knowing exactly why. Your subconscious is always working in the background, and its job is to keep you safe, to avoid pain and to repeat what it already knows, even if what it knows is outdated, like an old program still running in the background of your life. And that matters because if deep down it's learned that you're only worthy when you're doing enough, then your body will keep responding to that, even if your mind says otherwise. It will keep choosing safety over change. Not because it's bad, but because it learned those stories long ago. And no one told it. There's a new story now. And here's the good news. Once you start becoming aware of these patterns, you can begin to shift them. Not by fighting yourself, but by updating the story your subconscious is holding on to. The subconscious doesn't respond to logic. It responds to repetition. Thoughts, words, emotion. That's why practices like hypnotherapy are so powerful. They speak the language your body already understands. Through deep relaxation and inner connection, we guide the nervous system back to balance. We allow the subconscious to release what it no longer needs. And we remind the body, you are safe now. Talk therapy can be supportive. And for many women, it's been a helpful part of their healing. Sometimes just being heard, being able to name your story can feel like a lifeline. But if you've ever felt like you're saying the same thing over and over and nothing's really shifting inside, there's a reason for that. Your brain is always creating connections. There's a well-known concept in neuroscience called Hebb's law, and it simply means neurons that fire together wire together. The more often you revisit a painful thought, belief, or memory, especially with strong emotion, the stronger that pathway becomes in your brain. So even when you're trying to heal, you might actually be reinforcing the old story just by repeating it. That's where hypnotherapy offers something different. It doesn't just help you talk about what happened. It safely helps you change the story where it lives in your subconscious. It's like updating your internal wiring so your body, mind, and emotions stop reacting from the past and finally start responding to the present. That's why it's so powerful when you give your mind and body new emotional evidence that you are safe in your body, allowed to rest without guilt, worthy of receiving support and able to trust yourself again. These are nutrients, emotional nutrients, the kind your system has been craving for years. At first, saying these words will feel unfamiliar, like trying to speak a new language your body doesn't quite believe yet. But each time you repeat them, each time you breathe into these words, each time you listen to a hypnosis recording and let it land in your body, you're building a new path. And this is where transformation begins, not through force, but through inner permission. Because if your body has been fed fear, pressure, or shame, it's only natural that it responds with tension, fatigue, and disconnection. But when you start feeding it better words, safer feelings, and simply more truth, transformation happens. Can you imagine now riding a bike through tall grass? The first time it's bumpy and clear, the second still a bit rough. But every time you ride, the grass bends more easily until eventually there's a path. That's what happens in your brain when you repeat a new belief. Every time you choose to think and say something better about you, you are reshaping the way you relate to yourself. Now, let me tell you about my client Jay. When we first met, she was overwhelmed, always tense, exhausted, trapped in a loop of negative thoughts and constant pressure. She had tried many things. And while some worked for a little while, the same feelings kept coming back. She was like her life was on pause. She wanted to get pregnant, but nothing was happening either. She told me, everyone else seems to be moving forward and I just feel stuck. And underneath all that, a silent, heavy feeling that maybe it was her fault, that something was wrong with her. Do you know that feeling? When you've tried everything and you still feel stuck. As we worked together, the root began to reveal itself. Much of the pressure she was carrying had been with her for years. Inherited beliefs, unspoken expectations, the weight of being the first daughter in a family that praised doing over feeling. So many of the women I work with carry this too, especially when being close to their mother meant shrinking parts of themselves. They've learned to do everything right, to prove themselves, hold it all together, and rarely ask for support. In systemic work, we see this clearly. When the relationship with the mother was distant, complicated, or left no space for your own feelings, it often shows up in how we relate to ourselves, our bodies, our creativity, and our sense of worth. You might recognize it if you feel responsible for everyone else's needs, struggle to feel safe receiving or resting, or have a complicated relationship with other women. This is not about blame. This is about awareness. Because when you see the pattern, that's when you can do something about it. And that's what Jay did. She let go of the pressure to be perfect. She set boundaries without guilt. Her energy began to return. Her body started to let go of physical pain. She reconnected with joy, with creativity, with her own rhythm. She began to feel like herself again. Like her life could mean something, even before the baby arrived. She didn't have to work harder to feel better. She didn't need hundreds of therapy sessions to analyze every detail. What she needed was to feel seen, to feel safe enough to reconnect deeply with herself. That's what becomes possible when you stop fighting your body and start listening to it. You reclaim your energy. You feel lighter. You trust yourself again, whatever path you're walking. Because once you start listening, your body no longer has to scream to be heard. And now, let's move from words to experience with a beautiful hypnosis to help you reconnect and come home to yourself. Before we begin, I invite you to find a quiet space where you can sit or lie down and make yourself comfortable. And just look at me first, and I'm gonna ask you to roll up your eyes as if you're trying to look into your own eyebrows. Just like that. Inhale and exhale 3 times. And on the third exhale, I want you to close your eyes down. This is how you can go into alpha brainwaves, the same brainwaves you go when you're sleeping. So let's do it now. When you're ready, either lying or sitting, with your hands uncrossed and feet not quite touching, just look up as high as you possibly can, as if you're looking into your own eyebrows, and keeping your eyes glued to a real or imagined spot overhead. I want you to breathe in and breathe out. And every time you blink, that's hypnosis coming upon you. Again, keep your eyeballs up, breathe in and breathe out. And just one final time, breathe in, keep your eyeballs up, hold it, and this time as you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. And as your eyelids shut down, the muscles and nerves in and around your eyes are becoming heavy, droopy, drowsy. Your eyelids are starting to feel as if they've been glued shut, sealed shut, and locked tight. And now just forget all about your eyes and allow a drifting, floating feeling to develop in your body. Let your shoulders drop, your jaw soften, feeling the ground holding you. Switch off the outside world and look only within. Just picture in your own mind 10-step descending, and just drop your chin a fraction to get that same looking down feeling that you might get when you look over a balcony or down a flight of stairs. And now you're moving on to step 10 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 9 and 8, and you can see your feet, hear your feet, and even feel your feet making contact with every step as you go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. You're taking steps 7 and 6, and you're drifting deeper with every sound you hear. Every sound and noise and movement around you is carrying you deeper, further into hypnosis. You're taking step 5, you're halfway down, going deeper every time you exhale. You're taking step 4 and 3, going deeper with every heartbeat. You're taking step 2 as you go deeper and deeper into an awareness of yourself. You're taking step 1, just sleep deeply. And of course, you're not going to sleep. This is simply a sleep of the nervous system. You're drifting to a healing level. And as you drift to a healing level, your subconscious mind is ready for healing. Just go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. And as you go deeper, you're listening easily, effortlessly, perfectly with your subconscious mind. And while you're listening with your subconscious mind, your conscious mind is drifting away. Just for today, there is nowhere to rush to, no one to be, nothing to prove. You don't have to hold anything together in this moment. You are safe now. With every breath, your body relaxes a little more. Like coming home after a long journey. Like your shoulders finally letting go. Like a weight lifting of your chest. Like your jaw softening and your heart slowing. Let yourself be held by this moment, by your breath, by your own presence, because this is the only thing you need right now. Now, imagine behind you all the women that came before you. Your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and generations before them. Some you knew, some you didn't, but they're all part of you. See them standing behind you in a long, beautiful line, each one holding her own story, each one carrying something forward. Their strength, their silence, their survival, and now turn to face them in your mind's eye. Look at them, heart open, and speak to them, to all the women who came before me. I see you. I thank you. I honor all that you did so I could stand here now. I give back what is yours with gratitude, the pain, the pressure, the fear, the fight. I don't need to carry it anymore. I keep the love and I keep the strength. I take with me only what serves me now. Thank you for everything you gave me. Now I choose to live differently, because this is how I will truly honor you in love, in peace, in balance, in connection, in vitality, in health, and in freedom. And now, gently turn forward again. This is your now. And only from this now can you draw your future ahead of you. And you might see your child, a project your heart wants to birth, a book waiting to be written, a new chapter in your career, a version of you who feels alive and free, a relationship where you feel deeply seen and held, or simply peace. Peace in your body, peace in your mind, peace in your life. Whatever you see, hold it close, because it begins in this moment. See her. Feel her. And feel the space you're creating for her today. And now place your hand on your heart. Let your awareness rest there for a few seconds. Feel the beat, the rhythm. quiet pulse of life moving inside you. And now speak to your body like someone you deeply love. Thank you. Thank you for carrying me through everything. I am here now. I'm listening. I am safe. I am enough. I can do this. And breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, imagine releasing everything that no longer belongs to you. The noise, the weight, the old roles. It's behind you now. You are returning home to your center, to your essence, to the quiet wisdom that was always there, patiently waiting. You were born to create, not just life, but joy, love, possibility. You are a channel for creativity, a living, breathing field of potential. Whether it's a child, a vision, a home, a new way of being, you are capable of bringing it to life. And today you choose to come back home to yourself, to listen to your body, to turn down the volume on what drains you. You choose to give your energy to what matters, to honor the path that speaks to your body and soul. You no longer need to earn rest. You no longer need to explain your desires. You are allowed to create a life that honors your rhythm. Now, I want you to repeat these words inside your heart or out loud. Let them become your truth. I am safe. I am enough. I am allowed to feel. I choose to trust my body. I choose to honor myself. I choose to move forward as me. Speak these words every day, again and again. At first, it may feel like you're just saying the words, but say them enough. And one day, you'll realize it's who you are. So knowing it, feeling it, believing it, achieving all of it and so much more too. You can slowly, calmly, easily, effortlessly return to your full awareness, feeling amazing, feeling phenomenal, feeling extraordinary, feeling wide awake, feeling fully aware. Now, begin to gently move, slowly awaken your body. Let this moment mark a return to your own rhythm, a softer way, a deeper way. You are allowed to feel light again, to feel alive again, to flow in your own timing. Welcome home. I want to say thank you so much for being here, for your time, your presence, and your commitment to yourself. I encourage you to return to this hypnosis as often as you need. Each time it may meet you in a different way. And please leave a comment below and share your reflections on what came up for you today. Your story might resonate with someone else too. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye-bye.